This conference will now be recorded.
The time being 6:05 p.m., I'd like to call the February 8th meeting of the Tilton Parks Commission to order. Before we get started, please mute your microphones during the meeting unless you want to speak. Otherwise, background noise will interfere with the meeting. As chair of this meeting, due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis and in accordance with Governor Sununu's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically, and these reasons shall be reflected in the minutes. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporarily to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency orders. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are providing public access to the meeting via telephone. Members of the public wishing to attend this meeting electronically may call the conference call number found on our website at tiltonnh.org under the meeting schedule and agenda for this meeting. Additional public access by video or other electronic means will be available as follows. We are using the GoToMeeting platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the board have the ability to communicate during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to listen and, if necessary, participate remotely using your smartphone, tablet, or computer at the address found on our website at tiltonnh.org under meeting schedules and agendas. We are providing public notice of the necessary information for assessing this meeting. We previously gave notice to the public on how to access the meeting via telephone conference or the GoToMeeting. And instructions are provided on the Town of Tilton's website at tiltonnh.org and at the town kiosk. We are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting that a member of the public wishes to speak or be recognized during this public comment or public hearing. If you are a member of the public listening in and have questions, please write your questions down. And at the end of each agenda item, I will ask if there are any questions from the public before we move on to the next agenda item. Please state your name and address and then ask your question. We are providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem, please email web@tiltonnh.org, which will be monitored during the meeting. We will adjourn the meeting if the public is unable to access the meeting. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at a future time. Please note that all votes are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, also please state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Given the unusual circumstances, we will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance. So,
Bill Lawrence, present.
anyone in the room, Bill?
Just my cats.
Okay.
Dog present. One dog asleep on the chair. Another one is roaming.
Marina Sumner alone.
Ellie Janini alone.
Mike?
Mike Veteran present, and my girlfriend's, I'm in the kitchen and she'll be in the living room, so she might be popping in and out. I don't know if that's okay or not, but
That's fine. Tell her we all say hello.
Will do.
Bob
Yeah.
Hardy present and by myself. So, moving into the agenda, we do not have minutes for the January meeting. Ellie, I believe Catherine took those minutes, correct?
Yes, you did.
Tim did ask, could you send him a copy of the December meeting minutes so that he can get them onto the website?
Not a problem. Do it now.
Okay, thanks. Seeing we have no minutes, I'll move on. I have not seen any bills for the month of January, so we have nothing to discuss that way. Moving on to old items, the only old item I have to bring up is the ice skating rink. My understanding is that it is up and getting a lot of use. We had talked about putting up some type of sign to show it and everything. And let me see if I can bring this up. Marina came up with this company, buildasign.com, and looking at the feathered flags that they have, you can either shop templates or you can start from scratch. And I didn't see anything in the template that would say skating rink open or skating rink with an arrow. So I think we'd have to start from scratch. We
Correct.
definitely want it to be a double-sided one. What were you going to say, Marina?
It's called build a sign. So you make your own. You design your own.
Mine
It
says
doesn't.
start from scratch.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You make your own. And when I had done it, I just put the word public ice rink, and it was running
Okay.
about $87.
How big a one was that?
15 by 3.
I think that's a little oversized because you're going to get a lot of wind on 132 with a 15-foot sign. I don't think it's going to stand up. I think we're better personally going by either an 8-foot or maybe a 10-foot.
But you want the letters large enough, the words large enough, so people can see it.
You could
Like
just
the
put a
Pizza
big
Hut one.
just put a big hockey stick on it with an arrow.
Yeah. No, with the no on it. Be careful
Yeah,
with
right.
the cross in it.
Right.
Hockey stick with an arrow flash across it.
A four
I don't
by
know
eight,
what.
a 4x8 sheet of plywood would be overkill. What are we
Yeah.
putting on it? Public ice rink with an arrow?
Yes.
No more than a 4x4. Do a permanent one that's anchored, because the feathered, like Bob says, it may be $80, but it's going to be $80 every 2 or 3 years probably, because the wind is going to shred it.
Well, if anybody has better ideas, go for it. That's what I came up with because we've been talking about it for so long. So, and
How
then the town, maybe
how
they
is
can do it.
how is the printing on that, Marina? How would that be on that long one like that?
would be up and down. So it would be you can choose your font, what you want.
So that would say ice rink, like up from down to up, and then
Yeah.
an
Yeah, Bill, can you
arrow on the
see
bottom.
the open house one that I'm on now?
Yes.
It would say ice rink,
Okay. Yeah.
and down here where it says the realty name, it would have an arrow pointing towards the ice rink. The other,
Okay.
it would be a two-sided sign. Uh, Again, it would say ice rink up, and the arrow would point the same direction.
Okay.
And you've got either the four-legged support, or you've got a ground stake that you can stake this right into the ground. I don't know if we'd be able to get it into the ground at this time of the year if the ground's froze too much
Hammer
out
drill.
there. Or what's that,
Put it in a
Peter?
bucket of sand.
Get a hammer drill.
There you go.
The hammer drill
Okay.
can pound down through to create a opening. And if it's
And then-
bigger than your post when it goes in, you just put in warm water to thaw and let it refreeze.
Okay.
Mm.
I've never used the. Is the hammer drill what we used the one year to put the rink up?
Yes.
Okay.
When we
Okay.
had to do it for every one of those black bases to get the points to go in.
And yes, I remember that now.
You use it for going through foundations and stuff.
Do we
Like a
have
mini
access
jackhammer.
to a hammer drill? Does the town own one? Do you know, Peter?
We could check with Kevin at DPW and if they do, see if that's something they could do.
Maybe Catherine has one.
Where is this flag going to be placed?
You need two. One down by Walgreens, and
Well,
then one
we're not
at
going to
the
be
back
able to
entrance.
use this down by Walgreens because there's no way of mounting it down there.
What about a
Need-
5-gallon bucket with heavy-duty sand? There's got to be something. Somebody can rig something up.
The wind in that area when she's blowing, I don't think a 5-gallon bucket will hold a 3x15 sail, which is what it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Could
Do
probably
we
go.
need something really down by Walgreens or just up on 132? I mean, the rink isn't that big to be pulling the public outside of the townspeople into it, or area people. I mean, I'm afraid if we advertise down by Walgreens, we're just going to get inundated with non-residents and non-locals instead of even non-residents and tourists and that sort of stuff that's up and looking for some place to go ice skating. I mean, I've been by 2 or 3 times and looked at the rink, and there's been 6 or 8 people out with their kids on the rink and everything. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much more advertising we need to do and everything. Has anybody else been by, or have I just hit it on busy times?
I've seen
You
it with
probably hit it
less.
on busy.
I've only seen it been used once.
I've been
Was
there
it
several
busy,
times.
Ellie, or
There was about 3 people there. It was a mother and a couple of kids.
Peter, what were you saying?
I've seen them with about like the same number as Ellie. You know, it's like a family of 2 at a time. But I've been doing it
Okay.
like weekday afternoons.
Okay, I've been by on like a Saturday or Sunday. I haven't been by weekdays. So, Marina, what are you seeing? You've been checking it, and I know.
I haven't seen anybody on the ice. Quite a few times I've been there. There was one time where there was 3 late teenagers, maybe early 20s, that were going to go skating, but I couldn't tell them what to do or not to do because nothing's posted. And then I was looking at the end of the fence, which nobody has cleared out some of those branches yet either. That was asked, I think, a couple months ago. Have the town run up and just clear a little bit of the brush so people can walk in and out. And then the sign for the rules and regs. Did you get that typed up?
The Board
I
of
gave
Selectmen
that
have
to,
Board of
Good.
Selectmen have ordered some signs.
Awesome.
They ran it through the insurer, whoever the carrier is of the day.
Mm.
I was going to say, I gave our suggestions to Jeannie, and she said she would present them to the selectmen, and that's where it went. So, Peter, you said they've ordered the signs?
Yep.
Okay.
And I did caution them that it shouldn't be coming out of the park's budget because they're pulling it, even though it's all their budget. But if they're going to expend
Okay.
the money, they decide where it comes from, not from us.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what's the general consensus? Do we want to try one of these signs?
I thought we were going to have Dave Fox do a double-sided vinyl one, similar to some of his others. Did we decide not to?
To be honest, I haven't talked to Dave. If we had decided that, that's a slip up on my part. I mean, we could definitely have. I could approach Dave and see, and ask him what the cost of. You're thinking like a 4x8, Peter?
4x4.
4x4. Okay, I couldn't remember what you said.
No, the 4x8 is
Double.
overkill.
Okay, 4x4, double-sided with
Public
2
ice rink with an
sleeves.
arrow.
Right, ice rink with an arrow, but I mean 2 sleeves that we can put pipes up into, or do you think just grommets to lash it to 2 pipes?
Ask him which is going to be sturdier in a fairly windy environment. I don't know if the grommets are reinforced enough to hold it, or if the sleeves are sewn enough to hold it. So
Okay.
it may be both sleeve and grommets. I don't know.
Are we still
Okay.
thinking of putting that in the median?
It's too late for that, and unless you're going to hammer drill.
So do we have permission on Walgreens or something to put it in there? Or?
No, this would be on 132 right now, I think. We're too
Oh,
late.
okay.
Would be up in the right of way on 132, which Catherine said we can put it up there on a temporary basis. So,
Alrighty
Yeah.
then. So, Bob, why don't you check it out with David, and I guess we'll wait for the signs, and maybe the
what
town
I
guys
was
can
going to say is, why don't we approve an amount to spend? And I'm thinking that the 10-foot would be the biggest that we'd want to go, Marina, for the flag signs. So if these prices, now, is there shipping included with this or
No, I believe it was free.
free? Okay. So if we said not to exceed $70, we could then go either with the 4x4 if that's cheaper, or go with this 10-foot by 2.5-foot sign, and therefore not have to wait another month to get this and everything. By that point, the ice rink's down.
So moved.
$70 for each one, because if you want the flag ones, you need to get two.
Now, the flag
What are
one
the
is
what are the others?
double-sided, isn't it, Marina?
I was looking just at the feather one, but
Okay,
it sounds like that's a no. So I'm going to let you handle that, Bob. I'm out.
Wait a
if we're
minute.
going with the feather one, 10-foot high, we'd need two of them, right?
You were
Why are we
looking at the
buying them?
feathered flags, Marina, correct?
At what?
You were looking at the feathered flags, correct?
Yes, on that website.
Right, which you can't see. I've got the website up. The pricing down at the bottom says 10 by 2.5 for $63.99. Is that for one side or is that two-sided? Do you know?
I don't know.
Question for you. You're going to
What's the
put a
name of the
10-foot sign
what's the
up
name of the
at
website?
a traffic intersection on the second most heavily traveled secondary road in New Hampshire, and DOT won't object? The election signs and stuff are down below your car window so you can see by them. We're going to put this thing right up.
Well, up on 132.
I thought you were doing
Off
it at the island.
No. I'm saying that we'll do it up on 132 and try that for this year.
Okay. Wind's going to wreak
Because,
havoc
yeah,
on it. And we won't have much by the time we get it because the bad part's pretty much over. But go for it. I don't see how the feathered flags last when you get those nor'easters blowing in these wide open areas. Downtown, you've got the buildings blocking.
Bill, do you have any experience with the feathered flags, or have you talked to anybody as far as how they last? Or
No, there used to be a guy across the street that had one that would just kind of blow around, and it was more of a, you would notice it because it was moving constantly. But I mean, I think probably just a square sign on the side of the road, double sided, would be more advantageous, and just people driving that road would see it. And I think that would be ruggeder, because those feathered flags would blow over once in a while. I mean, you have to have them very well fastened into the ground.
right, you gotta have it anchored
Yeah,
somehow. So I
because
mean,
they're designed to move and create a an attraction that way. But
so okay. We had a motion and we started to vote to not to exceed $70 for whichever one we can get. So I'll call a roll vote. Peter,
I still ask the same question. Are we ordering one? Are we doing $70 for just one? Or are we planning on doing two for the beginning of next season?
I would do one for this season to see how it stands up and how it lasts.
Okay.
did somebody second that motion?
I'll
I made
second.
I so moved the $70 amount.
I think Ellie seconded it.
Yeah, I did second it.
So we'll take a vote. Peter,
Yes.
Marina,
Sure.
Bill,
Lawrence, yes.
Ellie,
Yes.
me, yes, so moved. Mike, you don't get the vote, but um, moving on to more or less new business. Uh, Riverfront Park, as far as I haven't heard anything from Catherine, I haven't heard a peep on the roof, and I'm a little concerned about that. Peter, have you talked to her at all? Do you see her in your travels, or
Not since we've gone remote.
not since we got remote? I'll try calling her and see. I mean, we got to get a roof
Be
quote
next,
in so that we
be
can
next
start.
year.
The
What's
money's
that?
in the budget.
It'll be next year unless you're pulling it out of your budget. You're too late for any articles.
The money was in the budget. We had put money into our budget for the roof.
Yes, the new budget has that money in there. Yes.
Right, right. So
So they let you budget it with no quotes?
we had
Bill?
put it in as a line item for, I think Catherine had given us a first quote at
Yeah,
$12,500.
I think the
So
only
we
quote.
put that in our
Right.
budget as a line item for a new roof. So, and that went through, right, Bill?
Yes. Yeah. Public hearing is Wednesday.
Okay. I did talk to Paul Rushlow, and if come the spring we are able to hire temporary help, Paul would be more than willing to come back and work the 3 days a week in the park doing general maintenance like we've had him in the past. So hopefully we'll hear from the selectmen come spring that we can hire temporary help. So Mike, how is the school? And I'm assuming we're not going to see any sort of activity out at the school for like Buffalo Park or that sort of stuff.
That actually it might not be the case. So we have some students. Well, long story short, hopefully in March they might go back with more students or more days. That's still a really really far out plan, but there could be some potential there where if the board votes on it, we could be going back to a more normal schedule. But right now, currently, I have students who are working on an outdoor classroom at San Bernardino Central. And then after that in the spring, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to get out to Buffalo Park again and clean up the bridge and some of the stuff that we did work on 2 years ago. It's crazy to say that it's almost 2 years ago. Do that and clean up some of the trails. So my plan is to get them out in the spring to clean up some of the trails. I don't know if we're going to be able to build another bridge this year, but probably at the very least try to do some trail maintenance and make sure that the bridge that's there is in tip top shape, because I think a couple students said that there was some boards missing or loose or something, so we have to do a little more maintenance on that this spring.
Okay, because on the Tilton historical page, there's been a lot of public opinions or public information disseminated about the Buffalo Park and a lot of questions about the Buffalo Park. And I've been steering them to you, Bill, for I know you showed us once a newspaper article on it, and I told John to contact you directly for it. they were wondering time frame and so forth. But through the general comments, it's been stated that the trails are in disrepair, except for the beautiful bridge that the high school kids built. There's blowdowns all through it, and since the Eagle project, it's been left unattended and unmanaged and everything. And there needs to be a spring cleanup with people coming in and cutting up the blowdowns and moving the blowdowns out of the trails. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want people out there running around with chainsaws by themselves and everything. So,
and you know what? Maybe what we can do, we might be able to just start tackling it in the winter too, because again, the classroom, so that's like our project now. But again, we can't really like put stuff in the ground when it's cold and there's a bunch of snow on the ground. So it might be worthwhile for us to start taking some of the trees out now, the ones that are across the path, because they might not be on the ground. They might just be, a couple feet off the ground. So maybe I will take my class over and maybe we'll try and tackle a little bit before spring. Even on the main trails anyway. So yeah, that's good to know. We might be able to take a crack at some of those things. So yeah, that's fine. We can, I would say, yeah, I would say I'll try and get over there at least once or twice before the end of February, because we have February break in, not next week, but the following week. So I'll try to get them over there once or twice before that if I can, and we'll try and do some cutting and try to clear some stuff. But like I said, we'll take a look at some of the main ones, like some of the big main loops, and then some of those other side loops. We might have to wait till spring.
I know one of the trails that's really bad is the Bear Trail. It's that red trail off to the left-hand side. That took a severe hit in one of the windstorms, but I know the main trail going out, the Buffalo Trail, does have some leaners on, so if you could get those down, that would be great. I'll go on to the site and just let people know that you guys will be working on it periodically through the winter and spring, and come spring, the Park Commission will plan to have a work day out there.
Yeah, and we might even, so I'll do some work with my class, but then we can also get our FFA kids involved too, and they can help out during that spring cleanup day. We'll try to make it an event or something for them. So that could be a Saturday, or maybe even just after school one day, we'll go over and spend a couple hours.
Okay, maybe what we can do, Mike, is tie it in with like Earth Day or so forth. Try to get a Saturday or so around that. So
perfect.
The next question that I have is, what about our egg hunt? Are we thinking that we can do it this year or not do it?
Are you spacing the eggs 6 feet apart?
Would I have to wear a mask under the bunny suit?
Right.
Yeah.
How? Speaking of bunny suit, how is that, Marina? Do we need to think about ordering a new one?
I'd have to look at it again if it needs touch up or if it's been tossed around. I think it's still upstairs in Catherine's office. One corner was supposed to be my office, but I'm not sure. We'd have to look. Because I think all the books are still up there, hopefully, and all the stuffed animals.
Okay, let me. I'll talk to Catherine, see if she knows if it's up there and so forth. I've got a bunch of stuff now to talk to her about the roof and everything, so I'll have to try calling her and see what's going on. So,
I'm not sure if the eggs are up there either, or if they're down at the town shed in containers.
now the eggs are, I think, still in the storage at Riverfront Park. I
I'm
think
not
they're
sure.
on the top shelf of the storage rack down at Riverfront Park. I'm pretty sure. I can check there. What do we think, though?
So the
Is it even worth trying to attempt this?
the timing is more of an Earth Day event, correct? Normally in April.
In April, correct.
Yeah,
When's
I
the
don't know.
I don't feel real confident about it, but
Yeah, I have a feeling you're going to have to go through the selectmen and Jeannie and the safety person, which used to be chief. That's my thought. I don't know. Are little teeny kids going to put masks on? Are the parents going to make sure they're all wearing masks and everybody's 6 feet apart running around?
Yeah, that's going to be impossible to keep them 6 feet apart and actually space the eggs out 6 feet apart or so forth. So we're
And
probably
then
better
waiting in
off
line.
just
I don't know.
we're probably better off just going with the cleanup day for Earth Day this year and not do the egg hunt. We got a little time, so I guess we could wait until March and discuss it at the March meeting again. And I'll talk with Jeannie and just get a feel for what she thinks. Unless, Peter, do you already have a feeling? Would the selectmen allow us to do this? Or would you say we're just bucking the tide and forget it?
You're probably shoveling shit against the tide.
Okay. That's putting it in not nice, clear terms.
Well, and it depends because it's interesting when they flip flop.
All right.
I'll be testing them soon.
Mm,
You'll be
Lockmere Water
testing.
District got to meet in person at the senior center for a meeting.
wow.
So sewer commission is going to look to meet next Tuesday upstairs. If you let one
Okay.
district in town, we're the whole town. They're only part of the town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll raise some hackles.
what's happening with town meeting?
The high school.
So it's still on to meet in
Happening.
person at
Yes,
the high
you're going to
school?
vote in person on Tuesday, and then Saturday the chairs are going to be spaced 6 feet apart. We normally have 100 or so. I don't know if we'd have a high number or not, so you don't want to have to do the drive-through style and all. Talk to the supervisors of the checklist. Well, the school district was not nice to them last year. They were left out in the cold in a snowy May day. No one seemed to care about them. They're stuck outside. Everyone else is in their cars idling with the heat on. But it's still a go. If you check the website, it should be right on the front page.
I did notice
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yep. It was
Yeah,
there today.
Chuck meets periodically with us for updates.
I know he mentioned at the last Conservation Commission meeting that he knew voting was going to take place on this, what is it, second Tuesday in March. He still didn't have a good feel if the town meeting was going to happen or if that was going to be postponed until later in the year and do a drive-through one. So stand by is all I can say on town meeting. So moving on as far as our agenda or calendar, I'm assuming we're going to schedule for wildlife encounters again. I mean, both of our two events that we held, I think, came off very good. They were well attended and everybody wore masks and social distance. So
That was
do
on
we
my
want
list
to
to ask.
go, Marina? Sorry.
That's all right. It was on my list to ask you.
Okay, well, do we want to do June and September like we have in the past, or do we want to change it up? Or
I would stick with the ones that seem to be working. Those two have been fairly successful, right?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we canceled June last year because
Right.
of the pandemic, but we held September and then we held a second one in October for Creatures of the Night on Halloween week or the Saturday before Halloween, I guess. I mean, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but both of them had the September one. I'm going to say probably had 75 people there. The October one had
About the
upwards
same.
of 50 to 60.
Yeah,
So,
it was pretty good. And everybody wore masks. There was no questions asked. Everybody was well behaved too.
yes, yes. I mean, we had masks there. If they didn't have it, we were going to give them masks, but everybody brought their mask. Even the little kids had masks on.
Yeah.
So, do I have a motion to go ahead with the June and September dates? And if Marina's willing to schedule those, we'll get them scheduled.
Yes, I have my calendar right here.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Marina and Ellie both seconds. So, any, uh, do we want to set dates or just let Marina work with um, wildlife encounters and set the dates as near to what we normally? It's the second Saturday, I think, in June and like the second Saturday in September. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I'll call Jen, see what she's got.
okay.
That
All
sounds
in
good.
favor? Peter,
Yes.
Ellie,
Yes.
Bill,
Lawrence, yes.
Marina,
Yes.
me, yes. So moved. Mike, once we get the dates, we'll get them to you so you can get them out to the school and just let them know that we have these events and so forth.
Sounds good.
Marina, what else do you have on your list?
That was about it. The rank, the cleanup at the end of the fence, and wildlife.
Now, the cleanup at the end of the fence, is it just some of the
Brush.
brush is too
Mm-hmm.
close to the fence? Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about? Or is
Yes.
there,
So they can walk in and out at the end there. And with snow buildup, I'm not sure if, enough people have walked in where it's flattened the snow. I'm not sure. I haven't been over recently.
okay, I will, as far as cutting the brush, I can take clip us up and get that cut back.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Yeah.
The snow removal, that's something I'll have to talk to Jeannie and ask her if the town can clean that up. I'll look tomorrow after work at
Mhm.
how, if it's getting trampled enough or if we need to
Right.
do some removal and stuff. So
Supposed to get more snow tomorrow, I understand.
Yes,
I
we
don't know.
are.
I've heard a mixed bag on that. Some say we're supposed to
Yeah.
get 3 to 6 inches. Some say a dusting. So
Mm. I'm getting tired of shoveling.
We'll
Between
know
here and then
tomorrow.
I have to go over to my aunt's house and do hers. I can't get anybody to help me. It sucks because I got too many people going in and out of her house right now.
okay. Now where is her house, Marina?
She's over at Briarcrest, over by the college.
Okay, yeah, I know it, Brian. I thought they were supposed to do the maintenance
No,
themselves.
nope. You pay park rent, but you don't get any services.
Oh, I was always under the impression that they did the lawn mowing and all
Um,
of that stuff. So
yep, they did that, and then they tore up her whole lawn. Yeah, that I think that was the only service. They don't do
okay,
any of the snow plowing. Yeah, it's amazing.
and yet you got to pay the homeowners fees and everything. So okay, do we have any other business to discuss?
Can we go back to the issue of the flag sign that we were talking about and we put a cap on it of $70?
I think that was the motion.
Right, and I think we all approved it. I just went on their website, and if you want a double-sided one that has ice rink with an arrow that's 10 feet by 2 feet, and you want to stand, it's $199.
Ooh,
I think we should stick with the sign.
Just giving you the option because I did price it out.
Okay, thank you.
Sally, I appreciate you doing that. So let me talk to Dave Fox. I'm sure we can get a 4x4 sign made up with just ice rink a lot cheaper than that. And worst case scenario, maybe Peter and I can get a sheet of plywood and do some lettering on it, or get a dentist to letter us up
How much
something.
graffiti have
So
you done in your lifetime, Bob?
what's that?
How much graffiti have you done? Which one of us
I
has
haven't
more
done much
lettering?
graffiti, but I have done some signs for Tree Farm and for work with
I, I,
stencils and that sort of stuff. So,
I prefer the graffiti artists. They make the letters look pretty good.
Yeah,
Mike,
must
do
be
you know
somebody at the school.
the artist?
Don't they have an art class or something at the high
Yeah.
school?
I'm sure I could wrangle up some students who have some graffiti experience.
Yeah,
There we go.
why not? Get the kids to
If we,
participate in the art.
Mike, if we needed FFA to do up a sign for us, is that something they could do?
I I, I would think so. Yes. Yeah, we could probably get a couple kids to do it if you guys absolutely needed it. Yeah, but again, the only bad part is like kids are so sporadic now, with some days in school, some days out of school and stuff. That's the only bad part. But yeah, I mean, if you think that would be the way you want to go, I'm sure we could help out somehow.
Okay, let me talk to Dave Fox, see what we can do that route. If that doesn't work, then I'll talk to Jeannie and see if the town could label us up something. If not, I'll reach out to you, Mike. So
Okay.
we've got the ag meeting coming up
On Wednesday.
Wednesday of this week.
Yeah.
So, okay. I knew it was coming up this week. I have it on my calendar. I'm not sure what. That's 3:00, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order that we need to discuss?
No,
Marina, have you done any work? I know you usually start on the parade about this time. Have you done anything or?
no,
Okay.
I've been too busy taking care of my aunt right now. Spent half the day on the phone dealing with her.
Yeah, no, I understand. And family comes first. Don't worry about it. We've got plenty of time. So just curious if you talked to anybody or done anything. So,
No,
but
not recently.
as we get moving forward, I mean, I know Ellie's offered to help if we need anything there too. So we can all pitch in and give you a hand with it. So
Yeah, since I don't have my buddy to help me,
I know.
but he might. We had a long chat last week, and he still might hand over a lot of contacts. So that'll be good. If he can't help, he'll be doing that. So
Okay, good. Good. So, her buddy, of course, is the former police chief. So, if you weren't
yeah,
aware of who she's talking about, so I have nothing else at this time. So, if there's nothing, do I have a motion?
I move we adjourn.
Fog second.
Do the roll call. Peter,
Fog, yes.
Ellie,
Yes.
Marina,
yes.
Bill,
Lawrence, yes.
Mike. Yes. Hey, Tim, are you still there?
If we all
What
leave,
meeting?
we'll figure it out when he comes back.
Right here. I was getting ready to stop your recording.
I
I
was
was
going
gonna
to say, if you can stop the recording.